The former Attorney General says from her perspective, no one dealing with the SNC-Lavalin affair broke the law. But not everyone agrees with her legal opinion. Conservative Leader Andrew Scheer is urging police to investigate. In a letter to the RCMP commissioner, he outlined 2 sections of the criminal code he says have been violated: the intent to provoke fear in the Attorney General and the attempt to obstruct or defeat the course of justice. Tonight, 5 former attorneys general echoed that call. 4 Conservatives and 1 NDP wrote their own letter to the commissioner, saying ordinary Canadians who do not benefit from political connections have been charged under these sections with much less evidence.
I do think there's enough there that it's not an outrageous allegation that the RCMP should at least look at it.
This lawyer says based on what he's heard so far from Jody Wilson-Raybould, the concerns about obstruction of justice appear most significant.
I think there's enough of a basis for at least an investigation, because what has happened could speak to a conspiratorial intent to obstruct justice, for example.
Making that kind of argument in court would be a difficult task, according to the head of the Canadian Civil Liberties Association.
You need to have evidence that the Prime Minister intended to obstruct justice, and we didn't hear any of that.
Though not criminal, Michael Bryant says there's been inappropriate behavior from both sides of this story.
They should have stopped trying to bend her to their will. At the same time, she needed to be open-minded to the legal arguments and the facts and the evidence, and she clearly wasn't. So it's a pox on both their houses.
To our knowledge, no one has been contacted by the RCMP.
The Prime Minister suggested today a police investigation is not necessary and that the Justice Committee and Ethics Commissioner's probes are good enough. Officials in the RCMP are reviewing Andrew Scheer's letter, but they refuse to confirm or deny whether an investigation is underway. Katie Simpson, CBC News, Ottawa.
So we've heard political and legal interpretations of all of this. What do potential voters think? Here's a sample from some people on the street and on local radio, starting in Jody Wilson-Raybould's own riding of Vancouver-Granville.
I'm upset. The law should be independent from the politics.
She definitely said no laws were broken. I think we need more clarification from all parties.
Why don't they come right out and say their fight for jobs for people in Quebec and Ontario, and they couldn't give a crap about the rest of the country?
I think it could turn into something a lot bigger. Yeah, and impact the election for sure.
There is a flaw in the system that you can have a partisan attorney general who's not supposed to be partisan, who has a microfolder but has a minister's position of justice, which is a macrofolder, and who's supposed to be pulling for her party.
It's up to the people to judge.